I remember very vividly, after 10 or 15 pages of the script, just knowing I was going to do the film. Now, when I look back on that retrospectively, this scene is about 10 or 15 pages in. You have to say it's just a brilliant scene.
I wanted to get all the stories from the real place. So I spent a long time wandering around this particular slum called the Juhu slum, which was right next to this airfield. It's a private airfield where all the film stars come in every morning on their private planes to start work on their Bollywood films. So I just walked as far as I could, and I popped out one end of the slum, and there was these extraordinary piers sticking right out across this sea of rubbish and kind of sewage, and perched right on the end of these toilets. And so you just sit there doing your morning business, watching the most wealthy, famous people in the world flying in. And I thought it totally summed up Mumbai to me. You've got the wealthiest and the poorest living right next door to each other. There's something fantastically visual, and it's a great metaphor for the city, really.
The idea in it is genius, really, because it brings together two extraordinary elements of Mumbai life. The slums don't have any toilets, so they build their own versions. Jamal's in the toilet, which they're actually running to make money. They're allowing people a bit of privacy, because if you don't go in these particular contraptions, you have to do it in the open. And so there's shit everywhere. There's no other way to put it. You are aware of that, and you can smell it in the air, and it's part of Mumbai life. It's shit.
साले, तूने तो मेरे धंधे की वाट लगा डाली। तब का हेलीकॉप्टर। हेलीकॉप्टर?
And then on the other side of the equation, you've got the adoration, the deification of these actors, the Bollywood stars, which in this case is Amitabh Bachchan. And what Simon does with the scene, which is genius, is he brings these two things like that together.
The purpose of this scene really is to set up the brothers and the relationship between the brothers that never really changes throughout the film.
His character is completely expressed in the scene. Everything you ever need to know about him is in that scene.
Jamal is a boy who will never give up. Doesn't matter what it is, he will do it to get what he feels is important in his life.
Which in this case, his love for Amitabh and the desire to get his autograph like any fan would want to.
Because he's the most famous man in the world, if you believe the internet. Various polls say who is the most famous man in the world, and it's always Amitabh Bachchan who wins. There are temples built to him in southern India. I mean, he is like a god.
Jamal will do anything and go through anything to get to that dream.
He's driven. So you get his personality right from when he's a 7-year-old. Same with Salim. It's all about money. It's all about charging someone to use the toilet. And, you know, he's the one running the business. Salim's always got a way of making cash, and he always does make cash, but he always does it in a dirty way. Jamal is faithful, will do anything to get what he wants. And Salim is a betrayer. And so I wanted to set that up in a kind of funny way at the beginning of the film. We tried for a long time to find English-speaking 7-year-olds, but they're just a different breed, really. Any Indian who can speak English, by default, it means they're very middle class. And they just look completely different from the sort of ankle biters that whiz around the slums. So we quickly realised that we had to cast the real thing.
Particularly Azza, on the left, didn't speak much English. Jamal, speaks a little bit of English, but as you can see, basically the communication you do is through a kind of director looking like an idiot, really, but a dumb show, really, of the actions. He doesn't have much dialogue to place himself, but he has to remember the sequence of events.
That is him. That's his helicopter landing. It's landing. Get out that door.
Jamal takes the only possible exit route out of the toilet and then runs shouting for Amitabh and begging Amitabh Ji to wait for him. And he duly parts the crowd, as you expect, given what he smells of and what he looks like, and he gets access to Amitabh, and Amitabh is gracious enough to, despite the aroma that must be coming from him, he actually signs him his autograph. And he also, of course, says what it says about Jamal is that anything that his brother can do to try and kibosh his plans or his life or his dreams, he will overcome it always. And indeed, towards the end of the scene, when he actually gets Amitabh's autograph, there's a terrible shot of Salim thinking, how did he do that? You know, once again, his brother, who isn't interested in power and imprisoning people and money and all that kind of thing, his brother actually overcomes this with application, ambition, determination, and being able to jump into a barrel of shit.